You might have missed this, but Latin America has undergone a major political shift. 12 countries that held elections over the last 3 years are now led by right-wing or far-right-wing governments. This has effectively reversed what is referred to as Latin America's second pink tide, a left-wing wave of governments elected in the late 2010s and early 2020s. So what's driving it? I spoke to leading experts in the region to find out.
People are discontent because the economy is not growing, because there are crimes, there are issues with crime, and that leads people to punish governments, so they are voting for newcomers, for outsiders, for right-wing opposition leaders who come from outside the system.
Several experts agree that the general discontent is fueling the shift to the right, with each country having its own mix of conditions. In Chile, for example, xenophobia helped to drive the right-wing gains. The country's far-right leader, with ties to the former dictator Augusto Pinochet, won on a promise to deport Venezuelan migrants.
What we're seeing with the rise of this new right is a politicization of these cultural issues around national identity and who belong. Latin American democracies are paying some of the consequences for the gains in political inclusion that they didn't make.
In Colombia, Costa Rica, and Peru, security and economic anxiety were bigger drivers, as crime and cost of living dominated campaigns there. Bolivia is another example. Evo Morales, the country's first indigenous president, governed for 13 years, with indigenous leaders and union members in his cabinet. But the current president, Rodrigo Paz, formed a government with no indigenous representatives and only 3 women among 14 ministers. What many of these new right-wing and far-right governments have in common is their commitment to restore, maintain, or strengthen ties with Israel, reversing a wave of diplomatic breaks that was initiated by the left governments.
Yo considero que el Estado de Israel, el presidente Netanyahu, el primer ministro, está haciendo lo que tiene que hacer para defender a su pueblo. Y es exactamente lo mismo que voy a hacer yo para defender a Colombia.
That kind of rhetoric, aligning himself with a leader wanted by the International Criminal Court for crimes against humanity, is part of a broader pattern of the new right that experts are watching closely.
More important to understand them as being a new kind of right in the region. And in some ways it has revived the authoritarian legacies of the Latin American rights.
Much of Latin America spent decades under military rule between the 1960s and the 1980s. So it's no wonder that the growing popularity of leaders from the far right raises concerns about what may come next.